My name is Stephanie Edmonds, and I work for the New York City Department of Education as a social studies teacher at a high school in the Bronx. And yesterday was likely my last class teaching in that capacity because I refused to comply with the city's vaccine mandate for all teachers with no testing option. So come Monday, I will be placed on unpaid leave. I am still waiting to hear back on the appeal to my religious exemption. However, even if approved, I will not be let back into a school building and I will be sent to an administrative office somewhere doing who knows what. This week has been extremely emotional, and while I am steadfast in my position and at peace with God, it hurts knowing that I'm leaving my students to an uncertain future and certainly an inferior global history experience than the one that they would have received with me. However, I do believe that I am teaching my students the most important lesson of my career, and that is to stand up for what you believe in, no matter what, even if it means risking it all. I'm a single mom of a beautiful, strong, smart, amazing 5-year-old boy. He just started kindergarten this year. And yesterday, on the way to dropping him off at school, I told him that we have some tough times ahead of us. But just like when he was born, with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck, he came out purple. I have faith. That's why I named him Caleb, God's most faithful. I've been doing a bunch of media over the past week, and it is an honor and a privilege to be chosen to represent the thousands of teachers and staff who are affected by the city's mandate. And I want to make it absolutely clear. Everything that I'm doing is in service of God and of the people. I have no media training. I have nobody prepping me for these engagements. I simply get up there and I speak from my heart. And it can be tough sometimes to say exactly what you want to say. So I want to take this time to expand out on some of my thoughts. As I have stated, my objection to the shot is religious in nature. And when I do these interviews, I try to stay away from the details of my religious practices because I honestly just don't think that it's anybody's business. That's between me and God and my family. I am Jewish. I grew up regularly attending temple from the day that I was born. I went to Hebrew school, to Sunday school. I was in the choir. I had my bat mitzvah. I regularly participate in community events, doing community service, mitzvot. I was part of Hillel when I was in college. And when I was 19, I was called to the land of Israel. And it hasn't been since I was 19 years old that I've been so questioned on my religious practices and my faith in God. At the end of my time in Israel, I had an opportunity to spend a couple of days and nights in Palestine. I was graciously invited into the home of an Arab Palestinian family. And I got to experience the world how they experience it. The checkpoints, which basically rule their life, deciding whether they can go out today or not. The military presence, the wall cutting in and out of their towns and communities, literally cutting them off from each other. I also experienced how good of people they are, God-fearing people. And then at the end of my time there, when I was leaving from Palestine and I went back to Israel, and then I caught my flight on that same day. And in the line to get my ticket, I was pulled out by security, brought to a back room for enhanced screening. I didn't even have my ticket yet. I wasn't even in the security line. I'm not sure why they picked me out, but they did. And so they bring me back there, they do like a basic search, and then they start to question me, where are you from? What are you doing here? Where have you been? Where are you going? And I had already taken out all the stuff in my pocket, and I had directions from where I was in Palestine to get back to Israel and to the airport safely. And so, Palestine came up. And as soon as Palestine came up, everything changed. The questioning became far more intense. What are you doing in Palestine? You know those people are terrorists over there. And then it got into my faith. How Jewish are you? What are your practices? Who's Jewish in your family? Did you have your bat mitzvah? Right? And until this moment, right now, I have never been questioned that way again. But just like in that moment, in this moment, it's my faith that I lean back into. I almost missed that flight home. They called the desk right when my flight was about to take off, and they said, "Hold the plane." And I'm in tears, 19 years old, very unsure of exactly what just happened, having nothing. They took all my stuff and they said, "We'll send it on to you." I never got back, my laptop, my camera, and some other items. But it was my faith that saw me through and got stronger in that moment. Just like in these moments, it's getting stronger now. And so I tell that story to say that not all Jews are a monolith. Not all the ways that people practice their religious faith is a monolith, whether that be Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, what have you. And so there's no official Jewish leader who can speak for me and my relationship with God. History reinforces this fact over and over again, and in fact, it is one of the foundational principles of this country. The first Europeans who came over here did so to escape religious persecution because the way that they practiced their religion did not fall in line with the way the official church practiced theirs or thought it should be practiced. And so they left, and cemented in our founding documents is the idea that any person can practice their religion in any way that they so choose. And it is not up to you to be the judge of my religious practices and what I believe. It is also untrue, as many have claimed in response to my media appearances and in response to other people with religious objections, that we simply have blind faith. It's just not that simple. However, I also don't subscribe to the notion that, well, God made us so smart to make this vaccine, so this is God's gift to us. It's not that simple either. For there is plenty of things on this earth, God being the creator of all, that are not good for us. That's the reason why I choose to not eat things like McDonald's. Right? It's just not healthy, and yet God is the creator of McDonald's as well, by that logic. So it's just not that simple. The word Israel means to struggle with or to wrestle with God. So yes, prayer is a part of this, but so is doing your research. So is looking at the data. So is questioning the authorities who keep getting caught in half-truths or outright lies. It is all of those things and prayer. In closing, first and foremost, I want to thank God and my family for giving me the strength to stand strong and to speak up. Next, I want to thank my students and my colleagues for understanding and respecting my decision. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank all the DOE employees, all the healthcare workers, all the workers all across the land who are standing strong and holding the line in the face of this tyranny. It is truly an honor to stand by your side. I have faith that wherever this path leads, we are doing the right thing and God will provide. So God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.